Alright, so here I open the WebMaker in VS Code. So inside here, you should only have the files related to this assignment. Like some other files should be removed before you submit it. Right? There's something like a example or some like a test should be removed. Only contains should only submit the files that are necessary for this application. Right? So we're gonna have a user folder which contains the login profile and the register file inside it. And we have the website folder. It also contains 3 files: website list, website new, and website edit. Same thing for the page folder. Right? Page edit, page list, and page new. And for the widget, we have 5 files here, including the widget list, image, heading, YouTube, and widget chooser. Right? 5 files. Make sure those are the only files you have in the current folder before submit it. Right. So that's the first thing to check. Make sure the file structure looks correct. Everything is in its own folder, and the CSS is outside. Right. So let's keep it the same way. And in the user folder, you're gonna check in each file. Make sure the indent is correct. That's also very important. Make sure your code is easy to read. The reasons, there are a couple of reasons. The first one is like later we're going to use the code again. You're going to have to read your own code to modify it, to edit it, or adding something new. And second reason is that when you're working in a company, you're going to working with a team. Right? They're going to need to your teammates or your manager need to check your code after you submit it. So it's very important to make sure your code is the indent is correct, right? And yeah, so they're gonna also requires you to write a clean code, because maybe in the future you're gonna leave the company, and the people who's after you are gonna need to read your code, right? So question. So to make sure the indent is correct, so you're gonna need to know like the parent and the children relationship, right? So in this case here, the body is the main parent of everything, so there's an indent after all the items inside it, right? So the container here, from here to here, is inside. Let me increase the font size. Sorry about it. Let me make it bigger so you can read it. Okay. So the container is inside the body, so there is an indent on it from here to here. And when you click on it, it can tell you where that is closed. Right? This can highlight the place where it's closed. And inside the container, we'll have H1, so there's an indent there. And after H1, there's a form. H1 and form on the same level, so there's no indent. But the things inside the form going to have indent. Right? Have some space there. And in the form group, there's the input, so we're going to put that inside. Yeah, give some space here. You can just hit tab. Hit tab once, it's gonna be enough, right? So make sure your structure of code is correct, and if you're using Prettier, it's gonna auto format it for you, right? If you're using the and on the Prettier, right, this one, it's gonna auto format it for you. So when you save the file, we'll talk about that, right? So when you break your structure, and every time when you save it, it's gonna format it for you. Okay, once you have the Prettier, and let me know if that doesn't work for you. Right. So sometimes if you're missing a closing tag, and the Prettier will stop work. So make sure everything is closed correctly. Sometimes like if you're missing a div tag here, and when you save the file, it won't format it for you. Right. Make sure all the tags are closed. That is for the login, and you're gonna check it for all your pages. Register, making sure the indent here looks good, which is to make sure that's not too bad, right? So sometimes maybe you have some extra space there, that's fine. Some space here, that's not considered as a bad writing habits. So it's fine to have some space there, or have some comments there. Right? It's all good, but make sure the indent looks like close. Make sure that the inside text always have some indent. Right, so it's easier to read. Right, same thing for other pages like websites, right, and that's something you're gonna check for every page. Right, the code structures. And after we check the code structures, we're gonna definitely open each page. Make sure that the page itself looks good. So we're gonna just here open the login, open with that server. Right. So we're gonna make sure the page looks good. Right. The page there's some space at the top, some space on left, some space on right. And make sure that's that's user friendly. Right. So user experience is very important. And we're going to test each buttons here. To test the button, you can refer to the table on the bottom of the assignment requirement. Going to the bottom, right? So this table here, the page flow table, it's going to tell you how the pages are linked together. Let me make it bigger. So inside here, say it says for the from page login, there are two actions we need to check. For the login action, when you click on that, make sure it goes to the profile page. Right? And when you click register, make sure it goes to register page. So we're going to test that from the login page. So when I click login, it goes to the profile, which is correct. And when I click register, it goes to the register page. Right? So that's two buttons are correct. So if you just print this page out, you can just put some checks there. Check, and then we check the register page. The register page, when I click register, should go to profile, and when I click cancel, it go to login. Right. So let's go to register page, and the page itself looks good, and let's check the button here. Click cancel, it's go to login, and when I click register, it's go to profile. Right, checking all those things, and then we're checking the profile page. By itself, the page looks good. And then we check the links here. When I log out, it's go to login. When I click websites, it's go to website list. And when I click OK, it's go to profile page. So basically just does nothing. Right? So when I click on this OK here, that one you check is OK. When I click that, it's nothing is going to happen. Right? And when I click on website, it just go to the website list. And when I click on log out, it's log out to the login page. I make sure all the buttons are checked. Right, so just keep going, following the list of table to check all of them. Right, that's important. Like when you submit the assignment, I'm gonna also check that to make sure you got everything. Right. Right. So make sure all links works. And next stuff is going to be some styling requirement. So make sure you're using the Bootstrap or some equivalent libraries, and the alt text input must be type text, and if the password input, make sure that is password. So make sure if that is a text input, you have a type text, and if that's a password input, you have type password. Right, so the password is going to be hidden. Like if you type, you can see the password, that means that's not correct. All right. So email should have type email. This is same thing. Text area input should have at least at 3 rows, right? So make sure the height at least 3 rows. So the text area we have one in the website new and website edit. Right? Make sure the rows here at least 3. Right. So the default of that. And all the file input must have typed file. So we only have one file in this assignment. It's in the image widget image. So in the widget image, there's a file. Right. So make sure that this one is file. Don't just put a button inside here. Right? It's not how it works. This is using an input with type file. Right, so buttons and links that looks like buttons must use Bootstrap classes BTN and BTN block classes to render them as buttons. Right, so make sure you using the Bootstrap classes to render your buttons. Right, there's no tables, so don't have to worry about that. Yeah, so all links should be styled with a shade of blue, but no underline when hover, and remove the underlines of the pages. Right? So the modern websites, you won't see the underline very often because the people don't think that looks good. So remove the underlines for your pages. So we removed it inside the style CSS. We say that for all the links and links hover, remove the text decoration. Text decoration none. Right, and then remove the use the font awesome for the icons, right? For the OK, cancel, back, and remove config, right? So use the font awesome for those icons. Right, so pages must not use style element or attribute. So instead of using the inline or internal CSS, please using the outside outside CSS. Right, please create your CSS in your CSS file. Right, make sure the CSS code are in the CSS file. Don't using style or style attribute or style tag inside the HTML page. Right, that looks good. And make it harder to edit in the future. Yep. So basically, that's everything, right? So make sure the file structure is good, and make sure the code is well organized, and make sure each page looks good, and the links well with each other. Those are the most important things. Right. Right. So then we talk about how to submit it. So once you finish checking everything, we're gonna need to submit the assignment, right? So you're gonna do a last push here, push it to GitHub, right? So like just say git, let's push everything, git add dot, git commit -m. Like just give a message. I'm gonna say assignment. Let's say Webmaker 1 is done. It's done, right? And just push it to GitHub. That's the first step. Right, so once you push it, you're gonna go to your GitHub, go to GitHub, and looking for that repository, the Webmaker. All right, so looking for take a look at that one, right? And to submit this assignment, we're gonna have to do 2 steps. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a release here. You see, there's 4 buttons on top here: commits, branch, and release. I'm gonna go to release here, create a release for this one. Alright, so you're gonna create a new release. This button, create a new release. And this one is gonna be version 1.0, right? It's gonna be the first version of the website Webmaker 1. So later we're gonna have Webmaker 2. It's gonna be version 2, Webmaker 3, version 3. So we're gonna have like in the following assignment, we're gonna keep adding new content. Right. So release title here, you can just say version 1.0. Just any title you like. And publish release. Alright. So when I go to your Webmaker GitHub, I can see this version inside here, and I will be able to download your code to test it. Right, so if you want, like after you submit, maybe you want to change it. So maybe you want to just add some more changes. You can just go ahead, create a new release, draft a new release, and like push your code and do a version 1.1 or 1.2, 1.3. I'm always going to check in the latest one for your assignment. Right, so maybe you want to change something, just go ahead to change and create a new one for me. Right, so make sure that's just 1 point something, so we know we're going to check in the latest one. Right, and even you change something, if you do not draft the release, I'm just going to using the release to check in the release here. Right, I'm not going to check in your code, maybe because sometimes in the future when I check in your Webmaker 4 and you already start working your Webmaker 5. But don't worry, the release here won't change. Right, just drop it here, and even you change your code, and the release is going to keep the version that it is created. Right, so that's how to draft a release. And after you draft a release, create a release, you're gonna go to your mSymple account. Now go to your mSymple account. Right, log into your account. Log into your account, and make sure you added your GitHub link here. Right, make sure you add your GitHub link here. So I will be able to use that to go to your GitHub. So if you go to your GitHub, go to your profile. This is your GitHub link. Right, github.com/ with your username. Right. Just copy that and paste that inside your mSymple account. Right. It's always going to be HTTPS and github.com/ your username. Right. So just save your submit your changes once you're done. Submit it. Right. And I will be able to click on that link, go to your GitHub. Make sure that's clickable, and I'm going to go here and checking your repositories, looking for the WebMaker. Right, so make sure you call it a WebMaker or something, so I know that it's for the WebMaker. Alright, so that's how you submit the assignment. Drop the release and add in your GitHub account inside your mSymple. And you will be later you will see your grade here. So I'm gonna give you a grade here, like maybe this is for WebMaker. WebMaker. Why it's going to go into the next one? WebMaker 1. I score like maybe 100. Hey, why is this going to the bottom? Right, and here I can give something here. So it's like there's some comments. This is good job, something like that, and nothing wrong. Yeah, I don't know something wrong with my page. Just submit, and you will be able to see your grade here and check the comments here. Right. If anything wrong, I'll let you know here, so you will be able to know like what you can fix. Right. All right, that's it for the assignment. And we're gonna talk one more things. So something I forgot to cover inside our lecture is about something about CSS. All right, so let me just give you an example here. Just create a new folder, give you an example here. Right, so I'm just going to create a new file here. Just call it home.html. And inside here, I'm going to have a h1. This is hello. Right? Actually, let me just generate a template and put that inside the template. So I'm going to be more formal. Hello. Right? And I'm also going to create a style.css. Right. So this h1, let me give it a class. Let's say heading. Right. h1 with class heading. h1. So let's just open this one with app server. Right, so it's going to be something easy. Just let you know like how the CSS work when you get into this situation. Right, so when you have a hello here, so if I put some style, so for all the h1, I want the color of that getting red. So what do you think the color of the hello going to be? Red. Red, yeah. So let me link them together. I need to link them together. Link to the style.css. So getting red color. And if I put another h1, let's say color blue here, it's going to be red or blue. So it's going to be blue. The reason is the second one gonna overwrite the first one. Right. So the second one will overwrite the first one if there is any conflict. So this is why we always put our own CSS after the Bootstrap one. So if we want to rewrite the Bootstrap, we can. If we put the Bootstrap after your own CSS, the Bootstrap will override your style. Right. So we have two CSS. right? So another example, so remember the heading here, h1 here. I have a class heading. So let me see if I just put instead of saying h1 here, I put a heading here. What color it should be? Alright, let me try it. Save it. It's red. So in this case, the second one doesn't override the first one. Why? Because because the first one is more specific. The more specific one gonna win. The class is more specific. We'll just say all the tags. So the class always win when there's a tag conflict with it. Right. So the heading tag h1 is like for all h1. It's very general, and the heading is for h1 with this class. Class is gonna win. And if we have ID here, right? ID equals to head. So if I have ID here, so I have ID here with a head, and the color of that is green. In this case, ID will win. Right? ID gonna win the class. A class wins the tag. ID is the most specific because ID is unique on each page. So the ID will win in this case. Right? So when there's a conflict inside CSS, there are two rules to follow. The latter one gonna win the previous one, and the more specific one gonna win the general ones. Right? So there are two rules to follow. So this is why sometimes when you change style and you feel that nothing is changing, that's because there's another rules more specific, and it's occupied that style there, right? But also we can force this one to win. So if you do after red here, you put important, and the important one can always win. Right? Sometimes you say, okay, I just want to change your heading into red, but why it doesn't work? Well, I think something is like is taking my place. Is winning like comparing with mine. So I want mine to win, just adding important here, and that's always gonna work for your code. Exclamation mark and important. This is something I miss when we talk about CSS. Okay, I think that's it. So actually, yeah, I'm gonna start the new lecture tomorrow, talking about the JavaScript. So if you already finished everything and submitted your assignment, you can take a look on the curriculum, the JavaScript part, right? So tomorrow we're gonna go for the overview and the basic concept of the JavaScript, and also data types. The first two lessons of it, it's gonna be a Udacity class. Let me just replace the links for you so it's easier to find. You start free lit course. I'm just using this links here, so easier for you to find. Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow we're gonna do the lesson 1, lesson 2 to talk about what is JavaScript and what data types and variables in JavaScript. Right. That's gonna be the first programming language, which is gonna be make website more responsive and reactive. Right. So yeah. So that's it for today's lecture. It's very short, and you can use the rest of time to finish your assignment. And I'm gonna submit the video to the YouTube, so you can